And welcome back to MD Global Muscle here at the On the RiZe Media Studio with me, your host, Giles Thomas. And we are joined by 2020 Tampa Pro Women's Physique winner, Ivie Rhein. Yay!
Yay!
Yay! Clap yourself. You won the Tampa Pro in your pro. Well, it's not your pro.
Yes.
You won Tampa. Wow. So, okay. Now, I would say that you're my guest, but you're actually Carleem's guest, and Carleem actually picked you to come on the show before you won Tampa. So, Carleem, full credit, mate. I think you've got a bit of a good eye for this. So, Ivie, how do you feel? You've won. Is this your first pro win?
No. Last year I won Portugal Pro.
Okay.
And then I qualified to Mr. Olympia too. But it was my first one here in US.
Oh wow. Okay. So you're from Brazil, correct?
Yes, I'm from Brazil.
So where do you live?
I live in Florida, in Orlando area. Mm-hmm. We moved here in 2014, and I started competing when I was living here already in 2015.
Okay, so you weren't competing before you moved from Brazil to Florida? No,
never.
Okay, so do you want to tell us a little bit about your contest history so we can find out more about you?
Okay, my husband used to be a bodybuilder in Brazil when we met 20 years ago.
Yep.
And then I was like in the middle of this, he prepped some athletes too. And then when we moved here in 2014, then in 2015, I decided to give it a try. Because people usually say like, oh, you should compete, you have a good physique. And I said, no, it's not for me, I have kids. So then in 2015, I decided to give it a try, and I love it. I placed second on my first show.
Yep. And
I said like, oh, I love it, but now I want to win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got the bug.
So then I started doing. I won 5 overalls straight, all national qualifiers.
Wow.
At the time, it was really hard to become pro in Brazil.
Yeah.
Then I talked with Jim Manuel and with a petition because I won 5 straight overalls.
Sorry, was that in 1 year or over a few years or?
It was in 18 months.
In 18 months, you won 5 national championships.
Yes.
Okay.
Then with a petition with Jim Manuel, then I became pro.
Okay.
Then as a pro, I did Europa. Then I placed 4th. I did Omaha in 2018. Then I placed 7. Chicago, I think I placed 7 too. I did Vehino Legacy.
Oh, Ferrigno. Yeah, Ferrigno in...
Yes.
Is that Miami? Is it Miami, that one?
No. It is in California.
Oh, sorry, the other side.
Yes.
Okay.
It was an awesome show, too, that I placed. I think I placed 6th. Then last year I did Portugal, that I won and got my qualification for Mr. Olympia last year. And now, I did Omaha Pro 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Before Tampa.
Yep.
That I placed 2nd. And then now Tampa Pro.
Fantastic. So what was it like doing your first Olympia last year?
Oh, it was amazing. Yeah. It was a dream. I think it is one of the things that I did it wrong. I was so amazed to be there, because I'm not in my 20s. I'm 41 years old.
Wow.
I started competing with 37.
Okay.
And then being there, I know a lot of athletes that never get there, and I was there. So I was so amazed that I think I missed the focus a little bit in the competition.
Okay. So what were you happy with your condition at the Olympia?
Yes, I was flat, to be honest.
Okay.
But yeah, I didn't place it. But it was amazing, being there backstage with all those girls and guys that I like follow on Instagram, and that I admire and then motivates me. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that I'm here.
Yeah.
It was.
So what's changed this year? Because you look so good at Tampa, and Tampa is probably one of the most competitive shows. What have you done differently this year to really take your physique to the next level?
I think the most important thing is here, right? Mentally. Yeah. Because diet, it doesn't change that much, not even the cardio, and all the things that go in the world, like this craziness with the COVID and everything, the gyms closing, and even with all of these things, I would be able to be my best. So I think it was here mentally, I feel like stronger now mentally, Ivie, emotionally.
Ivie, if you've taken a step up with your physique during COVID in Florida, which is really probably Florida and New York, as I understand it, are the most hardest hit areas of America, with gyms shutting. And if you've managed to take a step up mentally, but take your physique to the next level, I think that says a lot for where you've progressed from last year, from when you didn't place at the Olympia to how you... So I'm curious to know how you've managed to train during the pandemic, because I know Florida was, is pretty hard hit. How's it been for you?
Yeah, we used to have a gym in Brazil, and as I told you, my husband is a trainer, so he knows a lot about equipment and everything. So we were able to set up a gym in our house, a really good gym with great equipment. So then I've been training at home. I know the gyms are now open here, but I'm still training at home because it's so convenient for me, like being here at home doing this. Yeah. Of course, I miss my friends from the gym, but
I mean, I've been interviewing a lot of athletes, right? Obviously throughout the year for Global Muscle, talking about, and some have been like, well, I've got some equipment at home and I'm literally just trying to just even maintain. But I'm kind of curious to know about this home gym, how you've managed to improve your physique, and you're saying actually now that you prefer it. You prefer training at home. So do you think that, how well equipped is this gym?
Oh, the equipment here are great. Like, especially for legs, because it was my weakest point. Like, I need to work on my legs to catch up my upper body.
Yeah.
So I have hack squat, power squat, a Smith machine, leg extensions. So I have all great equipment, and all amazing brands like Cybex, Power Strength. So.
Is this in your garage or something? I mean, that's quite. That would take up. That must be a really, really big garage.
Yes, it's in my garage. In fact, we have two garages. One, a bigger one, and a small one for one car.
Okay.
Both of them are all equipment now, and the cars are on the driveway.
Yeah. So obviously you've won. Tell us about your win at Tampa. What was that like? Was it? How did it feel when you won Tampa? And obviously, I think we're all just so happy that the shows are happening again. But for you, obviously, you've won the Tampa. So how does it feel now, going in sort of as a second show pro winner?
Oh, it was so amazing. It was so special because like I live in Orlando, so we just 1.5 hours far from my house. So my kids were there. I had some friends there too, like cheering me up. And I was feeling really, really great. Like I was confident that I was in my best. And I think this showed. Like they could see that I was really happy to be there in presenting that physique.
Yeah.
So it was really special.
So what was it like as a competitor with all the, was there any, how different was it with obviously all the restrictions? Was it just a matter of socially distancing? And I'm just trying to work out what it was like for a competitor, with the new kind of, the new world we're in as a competitor,
Yeah, I think they did a great job. Like it's a big venue, and we had a lot of space backstage. So of course we need to keep the distance and keep all the masks. The mask is the worst part, with all the makeup.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was okay. Like, and they did a great job. honestly, it was like I felt like really safe. We just needed to use the mask until we stepped the stage. So we kept the mask. They gave us like a small plate to put the mask, so we don't like get the other masks or whatever. So
yeah, it's contamination and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I felt really safe. Yeah.
So now you've won Tampa, and obviously we've got a few months and a good few shows until the Olympia in December. Are you tempted to maybe do another show before the Olympia, or are you going to shut it down until Vegas?
No, just Vegas.
Oh, just Vegas.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes,
You're feeling confident?
Yes. Yeah. I like for now, I think now we have 19 weeks until Olympia.
Yeah.
Yeah. I took a few days break. I got back training yesterday. And just Vegas. I want to be my best ever, and I know I will be.
So, I mean, your condition was very, very, very good at Tampa. So what? But are you going to be off your diet now for a few weeks, or are you just going to kind of cruise into the show?
I want to improve some parts, like I told you, like my legs, and I think a little bit on my lower lats. Yeah. So, like some few points that I working on improving. Okay. But I think the point now it's not it's cruising, but improving whatever I can. Yeah.
Good. Well, I looked at your Instagram. Pardon me. I looked at your Instagram, and what would you say is your best body part?
Yeah, shoulders. Shoulders and back. Yeah.
Wow. That's your shoulders. I was like, the first thing I said to Carly, I says, wow, look at her shoulders. I said, that's, I mean, I think you, I'm not sure you could ever have shoulders too big, but, I mean, your delts are absolutely incredible, which obviously gives you a more pronounced taper. So really you're looking to kind of like balance your physique out more and just try and achieve that same sort of condition for the Olympia.
Yes, that's the point. Like more balanced. Like I felt like my legs were like kind of not proportional to my upper body, but now it's getting better, and that's my point now.
Good. So hopefully you're not going to come in too flat again this year. So what was that? Why did you come in flat? Was it just were you just overawed and a bit kind of taken in by everything, and you didn't kind of fill out, maybe a bit nervous, or?
Yes, I think I got too nervous, to be there, and I think I could eat a little bit more before stage because I was better in the morning at the hotel before going to the stage. So, yeah. So
is it I'm taking it's your husband that preps you?
Yeah, my husband is my trainer.
Okay, great.
We train together. Nice. But Andrew Vu helps me too.
Who, sorry?
Andrew Vu.
Andrew Vu. I don't know this guy.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not familiar with this guy. Okay, so...
he works with Hunter Labrada too, that one Tampa Pro.
Oh, well, he's doing pretty well. I think he's definitely going to be on the map this week because he's got 2 pro wins there. Yeah. So, I mean, who are you looking forward to most going up against at the Olympia, or is it just generally everyone? Who would you like a call out? Who would you like a call out with? Shanique, Natalia Coelho.
Yeah, like they are the top. So Shanique, Natalia, Sarah, Danny Castillo.
Danny, she's fantastic. Yeah, Danny. Yeah. I mean, Sarah Villagas. I was so impressed with her at the Olympia last year. I mean, she hadn't been on my radar before, and then she went and got second at the Olympia. Natalia Coelho was kind of like the favorite, with Shanique.
Yeah.
She kind of she caused a bit of an upset, So I'm really excited to see her come back because she had to pull out of the Arnold. So I think it's going to be a really exciting women's physique Olympia again this year. So because it's, okay. So, well, how many children do you have?
Sorry?
How many children do you have?
Oh, I have 2. I have my daughter is 15 years old and my son is 12.
A 15-year-old daughter. Wow. Yes. Wow. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So let's talk about the Mr. Olympia. Do you follow the male bodybuilding at all?
Yes. Yes. I love male bodybuilding. in fact, I love all the categories. They are all amazing, to being there and everything. Yeah.
Who's winning the Mr. Olympia this year?
Oh, this one, it's...
Come on, tell me.
I think Hunter is great, but I think it takes time for him to get there. I don't know.
Come on, give me a name. Give me a name. Come on, don't be scared. Don't worry, we won't show anyone. We won't tell anyone.
Yeah.
Do you think Brandon can win again? Flex Lewis, Sean Roden if he comes back, Phil Heath,
Flex Lewis
Bonnet?
is gonna be amazing seeing him in open. Flex Lewis, I love his physique. Mm-hmm. He's such a nice guy. Yeah, one guy that I think that I really like the lines and everything. It's William Bonac.
Yep.
I really like his physique.
So do you think maybe William Bonac could win the Olympia this year?
I hope so. Yeah, wow. I like him. Yeah.
So Carleen, she's got William Bonac for the win. Well, he was second place last year. He's very consistent. He's been, I think I've got this right.
Yeah.
15th, 8th, 5th, 3rd, 2nd, 4th, 2nd. So, sorry, 3rd, 4th, 2nd. So he's very, very consistent. He won the Arnold Classic. He's won it 2 times. So, you say Flex Lewis. Are you far from the Dragon's Lair in Boca Raton? Because he's in Florida. You're both based in Florida, aren't you?
Yes.
Have you...
I think here it's from about 2 hours far.
Never gone over for a Sunday leg session or?
No, I would love to.
What?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, maybe I'm gonna try. Yeah.
Come on, you got your one of your sort of hometown, your fellow countryman, Rafael Brandao. I mean, he's Brazilian's finest. I mean,
oh yeah.
Why don't you get it?
Yeah, he was there.
I've got an idea. Go and train legs with Rafael Brandao, and we're gonna wear Brazilian t-shirts, and you can get Flex Lewis to film it. There you go.
Yeah, that would be nice. I think a few weeks ago, Angelica was there, and she trained with them.
Oh, Texera,
Rafael Brandao, and
Well, if Angelica Texera, bikini winner, can jump in and train with those guys, you, women's physique, definitely, and you say you want to get your legs up, and I mean, Rafael Brandao and Flex Lewis, I mean, those guys are known for their legs, so I think maybe you get a couple of leg sessions in before the Olympia and maybe beef them out a bit, and get you into that top.
Yeah.
Get you into that first call out at the Olympia.
Yeah.
So okay.
Who is gonna be in the first call out?
Well, hopefully you.
No, but that's about your question. Who's going to be in the first call out? You want physique?
Yeah, I'm saying if you train with them, maybe you get your legs a bit bigger and you can get in first call out and get in the top 3, top 5. So are you setting yourself a particular goal for the Olympia, or are you just trying to look to improve upon last year with your physique?
No, I'm just looking to improve. Yeah. I think all the athletes go for the winning.
Yeah.
But I would be extremely happy being top 5.
Top 5.
Coming from not placing to top 5, it would be amazing.
That would be a good jump. And the thing is, you've got quite a lot of momentum now because you've won Tampa, and that's a big show. And it's that was a good show to pick, I think. So I'd love to see you do Alicante. Why don't you do Spain? Alicante,
Spain?
Yeah, in October. I mean, just maybe a little holiday as well. We're trying to get a big team over to that show, you see. So we've got Mela Ash going over, hopefully, and some other Zane Watson and some other. Who else we got? We've got loads, haven't we? Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Okay, then Ivie. Well, we wanted to get you on and congratulate you because you look absolutely sensational at Tampa, and I'm gonna have to. I'll DM you later and get your shoulder routine because I need to beef my shoulders up a bit. So does Carleen.
Yeah, I have some videos on my Instagram.
I'll check it out.
Yeah.
Okay, then Ivie Rhein. Well, really excited to see what you're going to be bringing at the Olympia this year, and we'll be there shouting for you because obviously we'll be in the front row screaming and shouting. So making a row. So Ivie,
yes.
Okay, well, thank you so much, and all the best for your next 19 weeks prep for the Mr. Olympia, December the 17th to 20th.
Thank you so much for this opportunity to be here and talk a little bit about me.
You're really moving up, and it's nice to see that you're really kind of, you're really starting to fulfill your dreams now. It's really good, and I'm really excited to see what you'll be bringing to the Olympia this year. So,
thank you. I really appreciate it.
Okay, thank you, Ivie. Okay, bye. Bye. And welcome back to MD Global Muscle here at the On the Rise Media Studio with me, your host, Giles Thomas. And we are joined all the way from, I forget where you're from, guys. Where are you from?
We're in Reno, Nevada.
Reno, Nevada. Chris Mins and Bojana Vasiljevic. Yeah! Did I get the name right?
Yes, perfect.
Oh, fantastic. Actually, can I keep a bit of volume, please? Bojana's a bit quiet. Thank you. So just adjust the volume. So, okay, guys, thank you so much for joining us. You're a bit of a power couple at the moment because you're a bit you've really kind of rose to prominence. I think certainly in the last year you've kind of come up on my radar. Bojana, you just take second at the Arnold Classic in the figure. You're a top 10 figure pro in the world. Chris, you're like, I want to get a bit more backstory on you, but you're one of probably along with Tim Gardner and Dan Solomon, probably one of the best show promoters in the world right now. I want to know more about you guys. So how did you two meet and how did you two meet and when?
Well, we met at Gold's Gym Venice. I mean, where more appropriate place for
where
us
else?
to meet. I was producing, what year was it? The 2014 Tahoe show. Mm-hmm. And she was competing in it, and she was with her coach, and they saw me working out and said, oh, we should go talk to him, because that's what people like to do with the promoters. Yeah. And I don't know, we just, she didn't want to talk to me.
No.
Why didn't you want to talk to him, Bojana?
Well, I did the Tahoe show previous year, 2013.
Yeah.
And I personally didn't have a good experience because I didn't place well. Show was great, but I didn't place well, so I didn't want to go back there.
Okay.
And my coach was kind of like, no, you have to go back. That's an amazing show. Like, it's okay. You didn't place well. We are working to improve that. You got to go to do that show again. And I'm just kind of like, no, I'm not sure that I want to go back. So we start kind of like arguing at the gym. And I say, like, you know what? I never met Chris when I competed at his show. And I don't see reason now to go and say hi. Because I even don't know if I'm going to do this year's show. He was kind of like, okay, fine. I'm just going to go say hi to Chris because I know Chris. So when we was exiting the gym, actually, Chris was there. And it was kind of like I couldn't avoid that. We have to stop and say hi. Mm-hmm. And the rest is the history.
Yeah, we took a picture of the three of us, and you could tell by her body language I should probably slip into her DMs.
Nice one. Nice. I've got to see this picture.
We'll find that for you.
Okay. So Bojana, I mean, you really kind of, you're really hitting your stride now. Can you give us, with your competing, can you tell us when you turned pro and tell us about that?
Yes, I turned pro in 2010 at Arnold Amateur.
Wow.
And actually that time I didn't know that I can't turn pro because I wasn't citizen, and I just came to compete because my dad found out online that Arnold have contest here, and I was a huge fan of Arnold. So I was pretty naive competitor who didn't know anything about IFBB Pro League. So I just came from Serbia to compete, and I got my pro card even without knowing what's pro card. Actually.
Really?
It was pretty cool story. I went actually the month after that Arnold to Bev Powerhouse Gym because I wanted to compete at the New York show, Steve Einberger show, and I went to register for that show, and I wasn't sure if I can register because I wasn't citizen. So I talked with Steve and I said, like, I'm not citizen. I don't know. I'm not sure if I can compete at your show. So he asked me, where did you compete before? So I told him about Arnold, and he said, like, so you know that you can be pro now? And I was like, no.
What is it?
So he started laughing, and he said, like, of course you can compete, but you have to talk with your national federation and see, like, they can send petition to IFBB Pro League here, and you're going to get your pro card. So I competed at the New York show that year. I got first place and go back home. And later my national federation sent a letter and I turned pro.
So you're originally from Serbia. When did you decide to move to America then?
Yeah, in 2011, when I officially decided I want to start competing as a pro. And I just figured out that I have to move because it's very hard to live in Europe and travel for all these shows here. So I made that decision. I moved in 2011, and I did my first show in 2013. That was a Governor's Cup Spectrum Fitness production. It was a very tough lineup with a lot of Olympians, Heather Dees, Mallory Haldeman.
Wow.
And I got first call out in front of Sandy. That was a huge thing for me that time.
Yeah, that's big. That's big.
Yeah, I ended up 6th, but it was just first call out next to Olympians. I couldn't be happier. And from 2013 to 2017, that's full 4 years, I competed as a pro about 30 times.
Wow, I didn't realize you were that prolific.
I never won the show, but I placed top 5 many times.
Yeah.
And my 31st pro show was my first pro win.
Wow, 31 pro. I didn't realize you've been around that long, competing that much. I mean, that's incredible. So were you always in figure though? Did you start off in figure?
I started in fitness.
Oh, you started fitness and then switched to figure. Right.
When she's an amateur.
As an amateur, I competed in fitness, and then I started competing at the same show, fitness and figure together. I cross over at every show. And it happens that at the Arnold Amateur, I did figure only. I was planning to do fitness and figure, but I decided just to do figure, and I turned pro in figure. But I still could compete in fitness if I want, and I'm still thinking, should I do that move, kind of go back or no?
Well, that's because Missy Truscott, I mean, she's there, a runner-up at the Olympia in the figure. In fitness, she's someone that swaps back and forth. So do you ever, you just said there, do you think you'll ever do a fitness? I mean, because things with fitness, you have to keep up with the gymnastic type routines, and are you still someone that keeps up with that? Do you think you could still do it?
Yes. Occasionally I try and test my gymnastic skills again. I did that last winter, and I'm pretty sure that I can pull a good routine.
Wow.
Pretty sure. Because without practicing fitness routine basically for years, 5 or 6 years, I did some elements last winter that I thought that I probably cannot do it now.
Yeah.
But I did it, and I was super stoked and motivated. And then when season started, I did Arnold in figure, and then I was thinking occasionally maybe this year to do fitness one time. But this year is so now messed up, so I think that's going to stay for the next year.
Do you know what I think you need to do? I think you need to do some test fitness guest posings at Chris's shows, just to kind of test the waters. I like that. Yeah, see? Yeah,
that's a good idea.
I think,
good idea.
Maybe some cool themed routines. Yeah, I think, and the thing is, Chris doesn't have to pay you then either as well, because obviously you have to do it.
I'll still have to pay her.
so
I give you a good deal.
We'll get a discount. I do expect that.
Discount, yeah. So Chris, where would you like to see her kind of compete? Do you think she should stay in figure, or do you have suggest anything? You would like to see her do fitness again?
I think she's so close to. She's the top 5 in the world, or top 10, I guess, depending on how you look at it, in the world in figure. So she's very close.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see her cross that finish line. I mean, she got second in the Arnold. I don't think many people would argue with the fact that she was going to win the Arnold Australia.
Yeah.
Of course, we got shut down, which was really hard on her, by the way. To know that, she's probably going to win it, and then just to, what can you do? You're stuck at home for 4 months.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think she should stick with it. And the other end of it is the potential for injury in fitness.
That's true.
Our stages are not gymnastic stages. They're not necessarily bouncy. Sometimes these days, a lot of pop-up stages as we try to make things work with coronavirus.
Yeah.
And I'd rather see her complete the goal in figure. And then I could see her down the road, going into fitness once she's hit those goals.
Do you know, I actually messaged you, when was it? Or I maybe spoke to you at the Olympia, and I said, because I saw some pictures by yourself, and I said, do you think Bojana could do maybe physique? Because you're very, very muscular. And you said, no, she's tiny. Wait till you see her on stage. This was before, I think this was at the competitor meeting at the Olympia last year. And you said, no, you need to see her because she's very, very small framed, and because the pictures, I thought she's good enough to do physique. But then when I saw her on stage, I thought, I could see why, because you're very, very petite, Yeah,
when you see her in person, you might argue she's bikini. She doesn't like to know how much she weighs, but she only weighs about 117 on stage.
Wow.
So to give that, those physique girls, her height are 140.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, Because Chris, you didn't really come up on my radar till last year when I think it was the Russian show you do, because you're a promoter of shows all over the world. How did you get into pro show promoting? Did you start in amateur, then move over? So how did it all begin for you?
Yeah, I started with the Tahoe show. This was supposed to be our 10-year anniversary, or is our 10-year anniversary of the Tahoe show. I didn't know anything about much. My background is I did go to university for business, and then I went and I became a director of events at ski resorts, and had put on, just about any kind of event you can imagine, big Jeep King of the Mountain, big 10,000 person events. And so I started bodybuilding, and I was, as an athlete, as a customer, I was very disappointed with the experience. I felt it was, we worked so hard, and I felt the promoter wasn't even meeting us halfway. Right. And with my events background, I said, we can do this better. So I knew a lot about event production and stages and operations. I didn't know the ins and outs of the bodybuilding world. If you had asked me who Jim Mannion was back then, I would have said, I don't know who he is. I'm just trying to put on a great bodybuilding show. Obviously, that's evolved over the years, and our relationship with the NPC has gotten so fantastic that we really are creating a synergy. Probably some of what you've seen this year, being one of the only promoters we haven't missed a show yet. We haven't canceled a show yet, and JM and the office are really supporting that. So, that's kind of the last, very quick version of the last 10 years. I just wanted to put on great shows, and then that evolved over the years. Yeah.
I think I like about your shows is there's a very strong identity. Like the whole style of it. If you show me a picture of your shows, people would identify straight away that it's your show because of the. I've seen when JM was up, I'd look at his Instagram and you showed him around. Was it Tahoe? Was it Tahoe? Tahoe?
What's that?
Was it where you live? Tahoe? Is it Tahoe? Tahoe.
Yeah. Yeah. We brought him up to Virginia City.
Yeah, because all that. It really like all the trains, and there's a definite style which I think you've kind of imprinted on your shows. So your background, is it bodybuilding or powerlifting?
Well, I actually started as a powerlifter before I ever bodybuilded. Before I ever started to compete as a bodybuilder, and I did very well. I was very strong. I actually got first place in every powerlifting meet I ever competed in.
Wow.
However, but that almost got a little boring, and I wanted to try the bodybuilding thing. I wanted to be leaner. I also had a back injury that probably took place in my early 20s. Yeah. That eventually caused me to almost be paralyzed in 2016. Shit. So, that was exasperated by, picking 650 pounds up off the floor.
It's not going to help.
No.
Yeah. So, obviously, you said you'd not missed any shows. I saw you did the Dexter Jackson show. How did that go? And how did you manage with all the restrictions?
It went really well. We've done 2 shows. First, we did the mother load, and those restrictions were 50 people were allowed in the room. Really? Period. And the Dexter Jackson was a treat because we got to have 50%. So I got a huge banquet hall. And usually I always do things in theaters, but this year we do things where we can. Yeah. And so I got a huge banquet hall so we could have an audience of just over 500, and we did sell out. Good. We had 113 athletes, which is, that show actually isn't that far off. Our West Coast shows, the average is like 275, but our East Coast show, the average is about 125. So we're in the neighborhood as far as numbers go. We added the live stream, which I'm using some of the equipment right now, so you can see some of the quality that we get with the live stream. Yeah. And we had about 250 views for the individual unique views for the live stream, 1,200 total views. So it's working. We're finding a new way to do things. As I approach the rest of the year, I've been working closely with our city, county, state governments, our visitors bureaus. I've been on the phone with senators. This is so much more. Yeah. What I don't want to be is surprised. I don't want to have somebody call in and get my show canceled at the last minute. Yeah. So I'm making sure everybody's in the loop, and I'm actually pushing state policy right now.
Right.
I found what I saw as an inconsistency in the governor's mandate for Nevada. As I work towards this inconsistency, I'll back up. Right now, the state of Nevada can only have 50 people in one room. And the Olympia is in the state of Nevada. So we're looking at trying to put on Olympia with 50 people. But if I'm successful in resolving this inconsistency, not only will this benefit my shows, it could potentially make it so the Olympia will happen this year. Nobody knows this yet, that I'm working on this right now, except for you and now your audience. But I have a dialogue with the governor's office of COVID management right now and a proposal to them that could help change it so we can have 50% capacity in these venues.
That's absolutely amazing. I was not aware of any of this because I know that the restrictions are different in every single state. It's like almost like 50 different countries almost, in regards to law and guidelines and stuff like that. So so obviously it's just like an ongoing process for you with all the different shows you do all over the world then.
Yeah, exactly. In the United States, we're county by county in a lot of places.
Wow.
My show in Southern California, interestingly, it may be the only show we'll see. I mean, I cross my fingers that Tamer gets to have a couple this year.
Yeah.
But our show is going to take place. It's the West Coast Classic with Lonnie Teeper. It's going to take place where I had the Ferrigno Legacy.
Oh, wow.
Now, what's great about that, I mean, it's a stunning venue. But what's great is when I put on the Ferrigno Legacy, I developed a nice relationship with the tribe. It's on a Indian reservation, the Agua Caliente Band of Cahuilla Indians. And because of that relationship, we're able to help them understand what our event is, to help them understand what our safety protocols are. And also we're able to operate. It's a sovereign nation, so we're able to operate outside of the restrictions that California has placed in other venues.
Yeah. So how many events globally now do you have? Because, I mean, because with so many different things going on with the COVID, you're having to be aware of how each country, each county, each area, each state has to basically to make these shows go forward. So how many do you have currently right now?
We have 9 individual shows. We're in 4 states and 2 countries.
Yeah.
So Russia is obviously a big deal for us.
Yes.
That's our pro qualifier in Moscow in December. I'm optimistic about the date, but also Russia reopened venues. What's today? Yesterday. So they're treating venues in a smart way, like most people are treating movie theaters. They're very similar.
Yeah.
So they're opening today. They're announcing that they're going to start rolling out their vaccine on August 12th, and they're planning on rolling it out to the general population in October. Okay. So we're looking really good in Russia right now, actually better than I'd say most of our shows are here.
Fantastic. So obviously we had Tampa yesterday. Now, I heard that only like a few days ago, there was rumors that even that show could be canceled, I think on Wednesday, just, 4 days ago. Are you feeling encouraged by what happened there, by the success of it right now?
Florida's a unique place.
Yeah.
As far as COVID restrictions are going. What I would be encouraged if numbers are going down, but they're not. Yeah. I would be encouraged if I saw unity within Americans in trying to make an effort in these numbers go down. But right now we're very divided. There's a lot of misunderstanding out there. There's a lot of mixed information, and that would make me feel better. But I see people pushing back, and I think the frustrating part is if you guys want to have shows, if you want to have a normal life, if you want to go back to bars, suck it up right now. You don't have to like it.
Yeah.
I don't like wearing a mask for 18 hours straight when I put on a show, but I'm here to put on that show. And I think all Americans need to get behind that and doing what it's going to take to stop the spread. A lot of people say it's not going to kill you, and it probably isn't going to kill you. It's probably not going to do much to you, but it doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter what the logic is. The numbers need to go down so we can have a normal life.
Chris, if you go back and watch the last episode of Global Muscle Season 3, Episode 1, I had Simon Fan on. He was the promoter of the British Grand Prix for the Pro League, 2 years running. He's done international amateur shows, very, very well-known bodybuilder, gym owner. He nearly died from COVID. He was in an induced coma for 30 days. He lost 60 pounds in body weight. He had to learn how to walk again, how to speak again. He died 3 times on the table. So when people go on Facebook and they say, COVID, it's just the sniffles, it doesn't affect us, this is a conspiracy, that's 5G's causing it. You know, I think about that, seeing that picture of him on the ventilator with his partner, you know, literally thinking the guy was a husband who she just married was gonna die. So that really hit it home, you know. And I actually had him on the show, like I said, last week, and he really told me a story. And I tell you what, when I really knew that, when I knew someone that was personally going through it, and he was out for a month, that's when it really hit home for me, and I realized that we had something very serious on our hands here.
Yeah, and I think what is causing conspiracies is there's everybody's having a very inconsistent experience with COVID.
Okay.
And so they start to question, how can it be both ways? Well, it is with this virus. I had somebody in my office. He had COVID. We shared an office with him for 3 days. We never got it, and it wasn't a big deal for him. But like you mentioned, there are people who nearly die.
Yeah.
Our host of our Russia show, Nikolai, he nearly died. He was hospitalized. So, you know, you can't trust this virus. You can't trust that it's just going to be the sniffles.
Yeah.
And really, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what any of our opinions are. As long as those CDC numbers show that we're going up, we're never going to reopen.
It's stressful, isn't it? I mean, do you think there's light at the end of the tunnel now with everything going on, with with like shows starting to open up and you're managing to move forward? And do you see the year ending well?
I want to.
Yeah.
You know, I want to. But again, the numbers aren't going the right direction.
Right.
You know, I'm glad to see that we're able to find new ways to make this work, you know, to be able to live stream a show so we can still be there for the athletes. And I think that's where my hope is, that we're evolving within this situation, but this situation isn't getting better when we look at the numbers. That's the frustrating part. And that's why, and at the end of the day, we just all need to have unity and work together to make this stop. Now, the real hope is going to be the vaccine. You know, and then there's all the conspiracies with that too.
Stay off Facebook.
Yeah,
Just stay off.
I deleted it from my phone.
Stay off Facebook. Trust me on this. Trust me on this.
Yeah.
Okay. Going back to you, Bojana. How involved are you with Chris with the show promotion? Are you kind of just there to support him as a partner, or are you? How involved are you?
Well, from the first day when I start working at his shows, I am responsible for the trophies mostly.
Okay. That's a big job.
On the day before the show, I have to set up all trophies and medals and make sure that everything is on point. And the next day, I'm usually doing trophy presenting with a couple more competitors that usually won the show previous years, or some pros that we have. And also, I have help with everything else during the registration process. Whatever you need, basically, Chris. I
think the most important role you play is picking out the dresses for the trophy girls. You'll notice all of our shows, there's matching dresses.
Those outfits. I think the outfit you wore to the Tejo, was it the last show, the one that Jay and Mannion went to? I thought that outfit was very cool, by the way, Bojana.
The Motherload. That's it.
Yeah, the Motherload. That's the one.
That's the one.
Yes.
If you don't know, Alan, my good friend Alan Sizemore, he's the chairman of Tennessee, and we had a show in Tennessee last year, and he saw those outfits. He goes, Chris, I'll need to talk to you about those trophy girl outfits. You got to understand, we're not the Bible Belt, we're the buckle.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
So don't worry, I'll be a little conservative for this show.
No, I totally disagree. I think it's fine. So Bojana,
they're wearing more clothes than the bikini girls.
Yeah, exactly. So Bojana, do you enjoy kind of being the partner of a show promoter and being involved? Do you find it? Do you enjoy the process? Is it very stressful? Or tell us.
I'm enjoying the process.
You enjoy
it? I really enjoy the process. It's just to recharge my batteries. Doesn't matter how stressful it is the day before the show and show day, and we have a lot of work and a lot of stress sometimes, but I just feel recharged after seeing all those athletes on stage, seeing a successful show, and getting feedback from the people is really, really rewarding at the end.
So what about...
Now, one thing, Bojana's also become an NPC judge, so
wow, fantastic.
I have a couple shows where she's now judging.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So
yeah, I really like to be on the other side of the table, and it actually helps me to improve as a competitor as well, because now I see how judges seeing the whole situation is way different than what audience can see or what people can see on the pictures and videos, and then they commenting after like, oh, I think that the winner from this class is not realistic, somebody else should win. But from the judging pit is completely different situation. So this really helps me to improve as a competitor as well.
So how does it work? Say you're prepping for the Arnold and he's got a show 2 weeks after the Arnold and he's flat out with it. How does it? Do you just step away when you're prepping and just focus on your own prep and then let Chris do his thing, or are you like, no, you've got to be all hands on deck? How does it work?
No, I think that we do everything together. We are not separating that, and we already have a lot of experience during all these years. I'm usually in a peak week for every his show.
Right.
So
okay.
All his work in my peak week, and actually I like it because I'm focused on something else, and I'm not thinking about food. I'm not stressed how I look. I barely have time to check myself. He checked on me, and he just kind of like, okay, you're good to go. And sometimes when I have too much free time, then I start overanalyzing everything, and that can be dangerous, actually.
Yeah.
So I'm enjoying this when I'm in peak week and I'm doing his show, actually, and I'm totally focused on something else. And for example, this year, if everything be okay, I'm going to be 2 weeks before Olympia in Russia, judging the Russia show.
Oh, wow.
1 week before, yes. And then I will come back straight to the Vegas, probably from Russia.
Wow, so that's fantastic. Wow. So
I just like it.
Yeah, so obviously the Olympia this year. So tell me your contest history in the last year, Bojana.
Contest history, couple last years. Okay, so before I won my first show, that was LA Pro Muscle Contest. I did 30 shows, and I placed many times in top 5, never won. Finally, I won that in LA. And after that, every year was just better and better and better. I'm currently right now on my 47th pro show.
Whoa!
So the next one is going to be 48. Yes.
So are you going to celebrate when you hit 50? When you hit 50 shows?
Oh, yeah. That's probably going to... Olympia should be probably 50. Olympia, I think.
Yeah.
If everything goes well.
Or Arnold.
Yeah, or Arnold. Arnold is going to be 50. I think Arnold is going to be 50.
Okay, Chris, sorry, we lost a bit of connection there. One thing I've noticed, you're both very hardworking people. You're a very hardworking athlete. Because I follow you on your Instagram. I like your Instagram. You're a really kind of lively couple, and you seem to have a really good. Look at him looking. You seem to have a really good work-life balance. So do you because you go away a lot, don't you? Do a lot of different cool things together. What's your favorite thing to do?
Hiking. Adventures, camping, something in the nature, skiing, something that is out of the bodybuilding industry, I think.
Do you think that's the secret? You need that kind of balance of like something, because you're so immersed. The thing is, you two are so involved in the industry. You know, it's so you sometimes just need to complete, switch your phone off and just go hiking.
Yeah, I don't think you should. How do I say it? Bodybuilding shouldn't define you.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is you do shouldn't define you. And I think that was one of the problems when I started training originally years ago. I said, I'm never going to walk like a bodybuilder, talk like a bodybuilder, act like a bodybuilder just because I lift weights. It doesn't, you should have a spectrum of interests. You should be doing more than just, in my opinion, of course, more than just in the gym. You need to be enriching your mind. I study languages and I'm big into politics, and it just having that balance makes you a more well-rounded person, I think.
What about you, Bojana?
Well, we're enjoying all these things together, and I'm kind of like, I had a hard time first at the beginning to enjoy some other things beside the sport, because I've been an athlete all my life. I started gymnastics when I was 3-year-old.
Oh, okay.
And until I was 12, 13, I was in gymnastics. Then I did track and field for 2-3 years.
Wow.
And end up in the horse racing industry because my father, who is a trainer in that industry. So I was riding racing horses for 10 years and more. And finally, I end up in the fitness industry totally accidentally. Because my professor from University for Sport in Serbia saw me in swimsuit, actually, and he was looking and said, did you ever compete in fitness? And I was like, no, how that looks like? I even don't know how competition look like in that sport. So he explained me, and he said, that would be great for you because you have a gymnastic background. Would you like to try? And I was thinking, okay, maybe. So I prepped 3 months for my first show, and I got 3rd place in nationals in fitness. And this is how everything started. I fall in love with fitness, and that was it. So when I moved here to United States, I was all about shows and contests. And when I met him, like I pretty much didn't do anything else beside the training every day. So I changed my lifestyle with him, actually.
I've got a feeling you two have got a very, 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 very big trophy cabinet.
We're gonna have to get another room in a bigger house, I think.
I think you have to get a separate house just for the trophies and just for the medals, because
I mean, I have several hundred in the warehouse, but they're not ones that I earned.
do you put your own name on it
My
sometimes?
trophies from amateur days are all in Serbia, actually. And it's a fun fact that as an amateur, because I told that I cannot turn pro because I live in Europe, in Serbia, and I'm not citizen here. And I even didn't think in that direction. I competed 70 times as an amateur because I didn't know that I can do something more here. So I just keep competing in my country and in Europe nonstop, like almost every month. So it was like 70 amateur shows.
Wow.
And basically 70 trophies, because
it's a lot of pro
at
time.
amateur level it was way easier for me to win the show.
Yeah. Wow. So, God, what a busy. I mean, you guys must have such busy lives then. I mean, it's like so when you're not hiking, you're doing shows and you're organizing shows. Chris, I spoke to you at the competitor meeting last year, and I said, are you looking to do any more shows? And you went, no, I'm not doing any more shows. I think 9 or 8 or 9 was enough. You said that is enough. Where do you see yourself? Do you see yourself just maintaining this level of business, or are you looking to expand or do different types of events? Is this so where do you see it going?
We're I may have said that I'm not adding new shows, but
3 new ones.
I'm going to be adding some new shows. There's 2 markets that the NPC and I agreed need to be developed, and that's New Mexico and Russia, and so I will be adding shows in those 2 regions. Ultimately the goal with Russia is to have it like the United States. There's 150 million people there right now, and it's only one NPC worldwide show. That's ours. Yeah. And so there's the opportunity there to obviously expand. So I do have a legal entity in Russia. I have a team that I'm building in Russia, and eventually we would like to, have, that team overseeing 50 shows, using the business model that that we've proven as successful here. That incorporates both marketing and the competitor experience and beautiful venues and such. Beyond that, there's always more ideas.
Bojana, does he wake up in the middle of the night and go and nudge you and say, Bojana, I've got an idea for a show. I've got to do one in New Mexico. I got to do one in. What's it like as being a partner with him, having these kind of eureka moments? Is it stressful?
How is it being partner with me, who's always coming up with something new, pushing, filling our lives up with more crap?
Inspiring.
That's my rephrase for you.
That was. I heard every word. That was beautifully said.
I wouldn't change a thing. Actually, that's always inspired me. How things are moving in our house and his ideas, and always something is happening. When we don't travel for a month, I think we feel like, okay, something is wrong. I feel weird. So we constantly need something to happen. Shows or realizing some new ideas or hiking or camping or something like that. But we are just not people who can sit at home for a longer time doing nothing. I can clearly see that. I think you're a couple that's both aiming in the same direction. And I can see that because I can see that you're growing together. Do you know what I mean? You can see you're a couple that your relationship and everything seems to be getting stronger and stronger because you're both aiming in the same direction. Thank you.
It's awesome you say that.
Yeah.
It's actually our 6-year anniversary was 2 days ago, and we feel that way too. That sometimes a relationship will lose some of its passion, but ours is. I definitely as we've grown and supported each other. We've just become closer and closer and more in sync. And fun thing that we are 24 hours together basically every single day.
Yeah.
She comes to the office. She's got her little spot in the office while we're all working, and
I'm working too.
Yeah, she's working too. She's making suits or doing programs for people or whatever, and yeah, we really do spend almost every waking and sleeping minute together.
So what do you think is the secret to a really good, long-lasting relationship? Ladies first.
Well, I think you just have to find the right person in the life. And I was lucky enough to find my better half, because you just feel that from the first moment when something is right and something is missing, like a puzzle, two pieces of puzzle. Of course, a lot of respect, understanding, and our interests that they're pretty much the same helps to relationship go in the right direction. You,
Chris, what do you think?
I think a big part of it is trust, and the other big part is to let the little things slide. Like I think when relationships get good, people start to pick apart little things and almost find problems. Like if you've got time to find problems, you're not busy enough. You're not doing enough stuff together. You know, if you're picking, oh, you did the no, that's not. Look at the big picture. Look what you got. You know, don't sacrifice that because, you know, she's never on time for anything.
It's all coming out now. So would you say that you're very good communicators? Or have you had to learn to become? Because the thing is, your life is becoming more and more demanding all the time. So the stakes are upping all the time. So there's more demands placed on you individually as an athlete, as a promoter, and as a couple as well. How do you see it?
I think that I learn about communication a lot from him.
Yeah.
Because for me it was hard in the beginning because English is not my first language.
Right.
So my English was pretty bad when I met him. So communication was a little bit harder. And I'm very kind of impulsive person and I explode very easy sometimes. So he's very calm, very calm.
Yeah, so you balance each other out.
I'm learning a lot from him, and I'm glad that he's how he is because it teaches me a lot of good things in life, actually.
I think with communication, I mean, you see it in my business too. I try to over-communicate, and maybe sometimes I don't have a filter, and I like to live a life where I can say anything that's going on in my life, and it's okay. And I think that works in our relationship. But it also translates to business. You see that I'm constantly putting out videos.
Yeah.
Whenever there's changes, we put that out there. We do our competitor meetings now all on video, and people appreciate that. They want to know what's going on. And both in a relationship and in a business, if there's silence, people create their own narrative. So if I'm not talking to her, she's going to be, well, what's he thinking? What's he doing? And it usually leads you down a bad path. If I'm not communicating with our athletes, especially like say down during COVID, they're going to start to say, well, that show's going to be canceled. I'll bet that show's canceled.
Yeah.
Or they could say, you know, if there's something that's messed up with the judging or something that doesn't flow well with the show, if it's not addressed, they're going to think the worst. So I like to come out, you know, I had a girl last month. She's like, something's up with the judging. I looked at, you know, yeah, something was. There's a mistake. It wasn't what you think it is. It wasn't politics. It wasn't favoritism. I looked at these pictures and go, yo, girl, I'm sorry. This isn't right.
Yeah.
You know, and it's the same thing with her. I said, yo, girl, I'm sorry. That wasn't right. And that's what you have to do. Get it out there. Be honest, straightforward, always and constantly.
Yeah. I like the video you posted about, we were saying about people being associated with other people in the industries. And you said, look, he said, if there was any benefit, he says, I would be. Do you remember the video you put out a few weeks ago? I'm trying to explain it. You were saying like, if I was politics for someone, I'd be Bojana would be like making top 3 at the Olympia, not top 10. You know, so there is no. I like that because you looked direct in the camera and you just said, look, you just debunked it completely. And I think having that authenticity and that kind of addressing the elephant in the room and speaking, I think that's how people build trust in business, in relationships, in friendships, with your partner. And I think it's a really good way to. And I think it's very heavily responsible for both your success and individually.
Thank you. Well, keep on doing it. That's working for us, and that's what I would want in the position of anybody out there right now. Yeah. And what do we want as an athlete? We just want a fair contest.
Yeah.
You know, it's that simple. Like, why complicate it?
Yeah, I did his show 3 times. I never placed even close to the top 5.
That's a disgrace.
And it was like surprising for me because the last year that I did his show, I came from Chicago Pro placing top 3. Chicago Pro is an extremely hard show.
Yeah.
So I took third place there. I did a muscle contest in LA. I get top 5. Yeah. And I go to Tahoe show straight after that. That was the last show before the Olympia. I needed only 3 points, and I would be good to go to the Olympia. I placed 11th.
Oh, Chris, couldn't you have had a word with the judges, mate? I mean, could have just, you could have had it. Could you not have said, give me a pass, guys? Come on, I'm going to get hell when I get home tonight. Well, that's good, though. That proves. And do you know what? I will say this now. You know when the split happened in the IFBB? I noticed personally from a reporter, a journalist point of view, I thought the judging went up a level. I felt there was less iffy decisions than when I went, oh, that doesn't seem right. And I just felt like things really improved when that happened. So it shows you that the Pro League really does have integrity when it comes to judging.
They really do. And I saw, in Russia, one of the biggest fears of the athletes in Russia is that the judges will be Russian. And if it, and that's not because of their nationality, it's because they would be with or have been formerly with the IFBB elite. Yeah. And they really don't trust them. So that show I bring in, I have one Russian judge now who is new. He tested in Italy, and everybody else I bring in from the United States or Europe. So I agree with you 100%, and again, at the end of the day, why? We always got to kind of follow the money. That's what I say with conspiracies. What does a judge have to gain?
Exactly. Yeah, I know.
What does a judge have?
I've been doing show reports since 1995, 25 years, and it's like I just had an interview with Charles Claremont, and we were talking about things like, and there's so many competitors that leave the sport and they go, oh, it's all politics. And do you know what? It's not really that prevalent. Maybe you just weren't good enough, maybe you can, do you know what I mean? It's like people just, sometimes I think a lot of people, they have the wrong people around them that tell them that they were better than they were, or so they start thinking, like there's a conspiracy against them, or there's this judge is in with that person, and it's just simply not the case. And it's the hardest thing for people to accept in this industry, I think. Yeah,
it's very personal when you don't do well. And everybody's telling you something. You want to put the blame elsewhere. And I know even in my early career, I thought, oh, I was definitely better than that person. Now that I have a more trained eye, I look at those photos and go, no, I got what I deserve.
Yeah. So, okay, guys, are you both excited for the Olympia this year?
Absolutely. I hope that everything is going to be how it's planned already. December in Vegas.
I'm excited for the new venue. I mean, it's something, me, like I'm all about venues. And we were at the Arnold, we were sitting with Jake, and I'm like, Jake, you got to move that venue. You got to move that. And he was really loyal. The Orleans have been there so long. I go, Jake, and I'll be a little, I go, Jake, it smells like sewage when you walk from the hotel to the venue, bro. I go, look down, they've duct taped the grates there so the smell doesn't come up. Oh. And he's like, I think 20 minutes later goes, hey, Chris, where exactly does that smell come from?
Did he say that?
Yeah. And so I think that, they would have had it at the Orleans, but, COVID's, while it's been challenging, it's created a lot of great opportunities. And this was a chance to go, all right, we're going to rebrand. We're going to do a new, we're going to have this great new venue. And I'm excited about it. I'm excited to be in a different place. I think for our most prestigious event in the entire world, it should be at a fantastic venue. And I'm really excited to see what Jake is going to do with it. I've seen what Jake has done in the past. I know he's not afraid to spend money, and he's not afraid to lose money for a little while as well. And I think we're going to see, this year's a challenge, but I think, the next, 2 to 5 years, it's going to be the next level event. It's going to be like we've probably never in history seen before.
Have you actually been to the new venue? Because I've seen photos, videos, but I've not actually. I mean, it's on the Strip, and I've seen pictures, and it looks amazing. I mean, were you surprised when you heard about the new venue being like that prestigious?
No.
No, Jake. You know Jake
because I know Jake, and to me it was the logical thing to do. If I was a promoter of the Olympia, it would have been the first thing I did. Okay. That I told my team, find a new spot. And that spot made sense. And actually, I think it was JM who who brought that venue to the attention of the team.
Oh, really?
He sees who's his favorite?
Def Leppard.
What's the girl? Oh, J-Lo. I was going to say with the big booty.
J-Lo, yeah.
He loves J-Lo.
Yeah.
He always sees J-Lo there.
He's been there, yeah.
And when the idea came up, I know that's where it came from. And I've been to the hotel, and the hotel's fabulous.
Yeah.
You know, we know the Orleans, we all stink of smoke within being there for 3 minutes.
Do you remember the Mandalay? Because I went to the Mandalay 2001, 2002, and that was spectacular. So if Planet Hollywood is even anywhere as near as good as that, it's going to be something pretty special, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And even the proximity to the expo and the new expo hall, it's going to be a really great experience.
Yeah. Well, and obviously you're looking to move up, Bojana.
Well, I'm gonna probably do one show before the Olympia because
Chicago?
I planned to do that show before all this restrictions started. It's Battle in the Desert, Spectrum Fitness Production show is gonna be in October right now because it's moved. And I hope that everything is gonna be good after that, and we're gonna be good to go straight to the Olympia. I'm excited about all changes, and I know that we just know a little bit. We have a little bit of info what's new coming in the Olympia. I think that we're gonna be all surprised there, especially athletes, with all new stuff that is gonna happen there. Actually.
Fantastic. Well, I can't wait. I mean, I'm really excited. I mean, it's going to be nice to start traveling again as well. So it's going to be a real. I think it's going to be a real added. I mean, the Arnold for me, just the fact the Arnold went ahead for the night show. I've never experienced such a good atmosphere because I think everyone was so appreciative because they'd been through such a stressful week. And I think when everyone was there was a real. I mean, Steve Blackman leant over to me and he said, "Giles, this is one of the best Arnolds I've ever been to." And I think because of and then Triple H did his speech, and I think because of what everyone had been through that week, and it was extra special. And now with the Olympia, with everything that's gone on this year, I think people are going to be really there's going to be a new appreciation, I think, this year.
Yes.
You know, and that energy, that positive, supportive energy and community we're seeing that at the NPC shows too.
Yeah.
You know, well, we appreciate how hard, Bob Lorimer worked to make the Olympia happen and how frustrating and difficult that was. He made it happen.
Yeah.
And I think when we've done we did our show with no audience, and whatever the Olympia is going to have to do, which is going to be difficult, you can only appreciate that hard work. You know, this is the most challenging times in our lives. Yeah. And to be able to come through, that's a big deal, and we need to definitely show these guys a lot of appreciation when that time comes.
Couldn't agree more, guys. Oh, and also, before we go, if you ever need an MC for a show, I've started MC hosting shows now. I'm doing hopefully there's if you're Mo Al Masawi in Cyprus, Avramis Kyriakou, because I was supposed to be going out in April. They had my flights all booked, my hotels, everything. And I was supposed to be the host and MC, and of course that's been put back to December, right before the Olympia. So, so I've done a couple of shows already, and I'm addicted to it, mate. I really, really enjoy it. So if you ever stuck, and you need someone,
as we expand Russia, how are you with Russian names? That's the question.
Do you know what? I did one in Romania last year, and the promoter said, look, just say the numbers, and I said I can say the number. I said I can say the full. And she goes, look, just say the full first name. And I said I could do all the names. I read out every single name. And do you know what? Because when they come out, when you've got the competitor list, if you don't know the name, you ask them. You just ask them when they're lining up. It's simple. So I can do Russian names, mate. Don't worry about
that. And the other trick is to choose a pronunciation before you say it. Right or wrong, as long as you say it with the most confidence, nobody knows the difference. But if you go Vasiljevic, then they know. But if you don't, Vasiljevic, that's
Yes. Okay, I'll say it with confidence then. Right.
Thanks.
Yeah. Okay then, guys. Well, I'll leave you to your evening. Really appreciate you coming on, and it's good to see you guys thriving and even through everything's been going on this year. And second place at the Arnold Classic, you're on the rise as well. Really excited to see what you two are going to bring this year. So thank you so much for coming on, Chris Minns and Bojana Vasiljevic, power couple of the Pro League. I will be seeing you. I'll probably see you at the Olympia.
Sounds good. Thanks for having us. I really appreciate it.
It's our pleasure. And also send me some footage and we'll work it in and we'll make a really cool episode for you.
Perfect.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Bojana.
Thanks, guys. You. All right, you have a good one.
Bye-bye. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye. And welcome back to MD Global Muscle here at the On the Rise Media Studio with me, your host, Giles Thomas. And we are joined all the way from, I don't know where, Dwayne Walker. Yay! Dwayne, the big general.
What's up? Yes, sir. That's me.
Dwayne, so where are you coming from, mate? Are you from Florida or?
I'm originally from Jamaica. Mm-hmm. I moved to Florida last year, January 2019.
Yeah.
I moved here because I became pro in 2018, and my coach resides here. Mm-hmm. So it was just fitting, and it made sense that I relocated here for the better opportunities and the growth and development into the sport of bodybuilding. So she suggested that I move here, and I did just that.
Wow. So how's it been going? Do you like living in America now?
Yes, I do like living in America. I've adjusted. Being in Florida is pretty much, the weather is pretty much like Jamaica, so it wasn't much adjusting to do in terms of the weather. There are Jamaicans here. I'm surrounded by Jamaicans actually, where I'm living and where I'm working. There are Jamaicans here, so it wasn't much of an adjustment to do, really.
Yeah.
So it's okay. Mm-hmm. I'm liking it.
So tell us a bit about your contest history, because you've, and we'll come to the last weekend up in a minute, but give us a bit of contest history, because you're kind of like a big talking point at the moment. And I think a lot of people are kind of saying, well, where the hell has this guy come from? You know, so we need to know more about you, Dwayne.
Okay. As I mentioned before, I was originally living in Jamaica, so I did most of my amateur shows back in Jamaica in the Caribbean. In 2018, I met with my coach Lolita Riley in Florida here.
Yep.
And we did a NPC show. That was my first NPC show. I did the Miami Muscle here in Florida. I won that show. And what she had scheduled for me next was the Mexico Super Show as my national show. So with my pro card, I did that show. However, I placed fourth. And what she had next on the agenda was the Olympia amateurs. So she had everything planned out on her calendar as to all the shows I'll be doing, and by when I will be getting my pro card. So she knew from the beginning that if I did not get my pro card at the Mexico Super Show, it would be the Olympia amateurs. So I did the Olympia amateurs shortly after doing the Mexico Pro Show, and that's where I became pro at the Olympia amateurs in 2018. From there, we decided that I wouldn't take a year off. I didn't want to take a year off to supposedly grow before doing my pro shows. I really wanted to compete. She agreed that I should take a year off, and I did the 212 because we thought that I would be more competitive in the 212 category.
Yeah.
Seeing that I wasn't the biggest bodybuilder, right? In terms of size and mass.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in 2019, I did my pro debut at the 212 category.
In what show?
I did my pro debut at the Indie Pro. I did the pro debut at the Indie Pro.
You did the Indie Pro. That's where I've seen.
There.
That's where I've seen you from. Now, if I look at photos though, Dwayne, you look tall. You've got a huge structure. Like you look kind of like a 250, 260 guy minimum, even though you've got like small joints. So tell us your height and your body weight on stage last weekend.
Last weekend, my height is 5 foot. I'm 5'7".
Oh, okay.
And my weight last weekend would be roughly 220/225.
Is that all? Wow.
That's all.
You look. I mean, I'm pretty good at telling like height and weight. And I would say, if I looked at your pictures, I'd say you're like 5'11", like 260, 270. So I think maybe it's because of your width. It's because of your width. It's like your width. You're very wide. Yeah.
I've never weighed 260 in my life. The heaviest I've gone to was 250.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's the heaviest I've gone to.
Fantastic. So how old are you now, Dwayne?
I'm currently 29 years old.
Oh, 29. 29, you're already making an impact. So last year you made your pro debut as a 212 at the Indie Pro. You came back this year.
Sir.
Now, obviously you took third place at the Tampa Pro behind Hunter Labrada and Ian Valier last weekend. And I mean, there's been a lot of talk about you. Really, some people saying some even said you could have won the show. And you know, Hunter was there was a lot of hype surrounding Hunter. He really delivered. So tell us about the Tampa Pro. What was that like coming in as your first time as an Open Pro? What was it like as an experience?
First time as an Open Pro. My intention, as well as my team's intention, was for me to just be really competitive.
Yeah.
Ensure that standing next to the open guys, we were competitive and we weren't blown out the water. Also, the intention was to ensure that all the critiques that we got from the judges last year during the 212, we would have ensured that we fixed those critiques and ensure that those were no longer an issue coming into the open class.
What were they, Dwayne?
So pretty much the critique was bringing up the legs, the hamstrings, the calf, the glutes. So pretty much the lower body needed some more improvement, some more development. So we ensured that during our off season, our training was structured around developing those body parts. And we did just that. And we just needed to ensure that we were competitive and at least secure our first call out. That at least we could expect. Anything else would be a plus going into the show, you know what I mean? So getting to Tampa, while I was prepping, I was seeing the hype around Hunter Labrada, and I personally wanted, being the type of person I am and the type of bodybuilder I am, I wanted to be on stage standing next to him to see how I would match up. Because he's a great bodybuilder, he's a good bodybuilder, great body, good physique. So being that it would be my first open show, I really wanted to see how I would match up next to him and the other established pros doing the show. So I got that opportunity. I was competitive and I placed third. So I would say I feel really accomplished and the mission was accomplished overall.
Well, you said you wanted to, your team wanted you to go and be competitive. I mean, you certainly were competitive. You were first call out. I mean, third place. I mean, there was guys like Dorian Hamilton. He was like, fifth, sixth place. I mean, he looked fantastic. I think I really rate him. And obviously with the Tampa, it's a very, very highly competitive show. So for you to make top three and really, and to be honest, I love seeing that level of detail and just muscle detail that you sometimes don't see in some of the Open Pro guys, and your structure, your X shape, your tiny joints, the detail. I mean, it's so what's the plans now for this year? Are you shutting it down now, or are you going to do more shows to try and qualify for the Olympia? Because what do you think?
Shutting it down for me for this year is not an option.
Good.
I've waited a year to compete. Due to Corona and the cancellations of the shows this year, I couldn't get to compete before Tampa Pro this year. So the Tampa Pro was my first show for the year. So I'm really hungry and eager to compete, build my resume up, get some more experience, get to be seen in front of some more judges. So I definitely have intentions of doing some more shows for the year. So Chicago Pro is one of those shows.
Good.
Boston Pro is one of those shows. And I think I'm seeing a show in California State Pro.
Yep.
So all being well, if travels allows me to travel to these shows, I'll definitely be at those shows competing.
Fantastic. I'm really happy to hear that, because I thought you were going to say you were going to shut it down for the rest of the year. And I was like, no, don't. We really want to see you in some more shows, because if you've moved to America, if you've moved to Florida from Jamaica, and your main goal was to, purely to sort of pursue your bodybuilding, I think you need to just, because I'd really love to see you in the Olympia, mate. I really would. I think you've really you've created a lot of hype and a lot of excitement this last week, because Hunter aside, all the tension was around him. I mean, there was just as much attention around you, Dwayne, and it's really exciting to see new blood coming through.
Yeah, I really would like to get that experience and be at the Olympia this year. I'm currently, I think I'm like 6th or 7th on the list. I have 7 points.
Good.
So if I compete and can secure a win or secure some more points, I should be able to make it to the Olympia this year. And that would be a big deal for me. So I'm definitely working towards that.
Good. So what show, obviously, I mean, with everything being put back, what show were you originally planning to do for this year?
I was planning to do the very same shows I did. The Puerto Rico Pro and the Tampa Pro. Reason being, those shows were...
Dwayne, sorry, mate, we lost you
right
a bit.
in my...
Dwayne, sorry, we lost you. You lost a bit of connection there. Sorry, can you say again, which was... Did you say Portugal and Tampa?
No, the Indy Pro.
Indy.
The New York Pro.
Yeah.
The New York Pro.
Yeah.
The Puerto Rico Pro show.
Puerto
and
Rico.
The Tampa Pro.
Right, sorry, I thought I said Portugal. You said Puerto Rico. So when did you start prepping then?
When did I start prepping?
Yeah, when did you start prepping this year?
Okay, so I started prepping pretty much in December last year.
December, wow. Okay.
Because reason being because I had planned on doing the Indy Pro.
Yeah.
And the Indy Pro was pretty much, I think March/April. I think the Indy Pro would have been March/April of this year. But that got cancelled and then we got in quarantine. So prep stopped. We stopped prepping.
Yeah.
And then we resumed prep in about May. We resumed prep in about May/June.
Okay. So obviously with
that's when the gyms reopened in Florida in May/June.
So
So that's when we started prepping and training again.
So I mean, Florida was probably one of the hardest hit, along with New York in America. And you're saying gyms were shut. How were you Were you just not training, or did you literally just start back training in May when the gyms reopened?
I was not training at all.
At all.
For me, at all. For me, I kept my cool. I remained stress-free, and I just look at it as a rest period, which was needed. And I think for me, I needed to rest a bit as well. Rest my joints, rest my muscles, got my body recovered. So I was just pretty much sticking to a fairly clean diet.
Yeah.
Not getting out of shape too much, and just staying positive, because at the end of the day, Florida wasn't the only state affected. It was the whole entire world. So there's nothing that I could do or change, or everybody was affected. So I just kept my calm, remain stress-free, stick to a fairly clean diet, and rested.
Yeah. So we said like you'd never been, when I said you look like 5'11", 260, you said I've never been 260 in my life. So are you someone that kind of grows into a show, or that comes down from a body weight? Did you go up or down when you're not prepping? When
I'm off season, I went up in body weight because I increased my calories.
Yeah.
And seeing that we wanted to make improvement in terms of development on the legs, we definitely needed to go up in body weight. So we increased the calories in the diet, so we could get some size, get some added much needed strength to ensure that we could train the legs and train them very heavy and recover properly as well. And then we would diet down for the show. But we also ensured that even though we increased the calories and went up in weight, it wasn't anything that would be considered as being sloppy or bulky.
Yeah.
It was still fairly tight and in condition.
Yeah. Given that you've conditioned last weekend, and like I said, the level of detail, the striations, and also the muscle density, are you someone that really struggles to get in condition, or are you someone that's quite naturally lean?
I think I'm someone that's quite naturally lean. And I mean, my coach knows exactly what she's doing. I work with my coach at her gym.
Okay.
So I'm pretty much in her eyes every day.
Yeah.
So I'm being monitored pretty much every day. So with the diet changes according to how I'm looking regularly. The cardio is scheduled and structured based on how I'm looking. So everything is done to ensure that I peak at the right time.
Right.
She's always wanting to ensure I peak on the day of the show, and not before and not after. So she's always checking me. I'm always posing in front of her, so she ensures that everything is strategic. And she's very strategic and structured. So, yeah.
Good. So I'm looking at all the pictures around the house. When we were adjusting your camera there before, I've noticed a lot of trophies and pictures.
Gym.
Are you at a gym?
I'm
okay.
at a gym.
I was about to say your whole family's competing there, mate.
Yeah, these are pictures of all the athletes that my coach had worked with that did NPC shows or pro shows. So the trophies and pictures you're seeing are what the gym and other athletes won.
Okay, so I mean, is there a bit of a buzz, excitement now you've done Tampa and you've kind of made an impact as an open pro? Are the people around you and your team kind of excited for what's next?
Yes, my team is very much excited and highly motivated.
Good.
So they as well are looking forward to their shows. All being where they get to compete this year. A lot of them haven't competed this year as yet due to the same COVID situation.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that all of them get the chance to compete before end of year because they are prepping, they are training hard, and they keep getting disappointed due to the cancellation of their shows. So I really hope they do get to compete this year.
Good. I mean, how have you? I know we're kind of, certainly in the UK, we're kind of coming out of the COVID thing. It's definitely better than it was a couple of months ago. Has it directly affected you or anyone around you in the last few months?
No. Happy to say, no one around me has been directly affected. Nobody around me has really contracted the virus. We have been affected due to the quarantine and due to having to move around with the social distancing.
Yeah.
The gym is not back to its full capacity in terms of clientele. So what the income would usually be like is not where it's at right now. So we are affected in terms of that. No one directly around me has contracted the virus though.
You're saying, that's good to know.
Happy to say.
That's good. So you're saying we at the gym. Do you work at the gym? Are you a personal trainer? Is that what you do?
Yes, sir. That's correct.
Right,
I'm a personal trainer at the gym.
Right. I'm starting to see the connection.
So I work with my coach. Yeah, I work with my coach.
Okay. So where did the where did the nickname Big General come from?
I just gave myself that name
cool.
before Big General. The name I had on Instagram before was Thugnificent. Most persons thought it was marketable.
Yeah, that's okay. I like it. But
most persons thought it wasn't marketable,
right?
And it wasn't professional.
Yeah.
So I changed it without hesitation because I want to be marketable and professional. I want to attract the sponsors and so forth.
Yeah.
So I made the change, and Big General came to mind. So it has a little spunk to it.
Yeah.
So I worked with it.
Yeah.
And it's been working so far. So.
Good. No, I like it. I think it's cool. Thugnificent. I think quite like that as well. So yeah. Have you got any good sponsors at the moment, or have you started to attract some? Now you're kind of making some noise.
Currently, I'm sponsored by Betancourt Nutrition.
Oh, Georgia.
They're a supplement company. Yeah. So I'm sponsored by Betancourt. They sponsored me a little bit before going into Tampa. So I'm happy about that. They have been supportive so far. I'm sponsored. I'm an ambassador for Gorilla Wear.
Oh, great!
So those are the two companies I'm working alongside right now.
Oh, that's good. So, have you been back to Jamaica in the last year, or have you literally just stayed in Florida? Because I know I've spoke to Sean Roden, and there's a very kind of Nathan Diasha. There seems to be like a very, very supportive bodybuilding community in Jamaica, and they seem to have a lot of support for each other. It's just something I've noticed as a bit of a trend.
Yes, the last time I've been to Jamaica was last year, August. I haven't been there since then.
Do you miss it?
But I do miss home. I miss home a lot. There are lots of bodybuilding athletes in Jamaica who really tune into the sport, and they're tuning in a lot more now, seeing that they are now identifying with other Jamaican professionals in the field. So they can now relate more to persons who are of their nation. So they are more in tune.
Yeah.
And I would say of all the Jamaicans who are in bodybuilding right now, might be the closest one to the country, being that I just came here from Jamaica. So I actually lived in Jamaica all my life. So for them seeing me doing what I do, it's much more relatable.
Right. Okay.
And
yeah.
They're seeing where now it's for them now. A lot of things seem a lot more possible and attainable for them.
That's good.
So that's also a big deal for me.
Yeah.
So everything that I do and accomplish is I feel really proud to know that they can see that and say, hey, I know that guy personally. I trained alongside that guy. I competed with that guy, and I'm seeing now where he's actually moving up the ranks and being in the pro league and competing at the Olympia, competing at the Arnolds.
Yeah.
So for them, it's a lot more motivation and inspiration for them to actually work harder to try and make it in the pro ranks.
That's good. There seems to be a lot of national pride I've noticed in Jamaica. You know, a lot of the flags and the, you know, it seems to have a really kind of a very, very, very strong culture in Jamaica. And I was like, when I speak to like, you know, a lot of Jamaican bodybuilders, and they always refer to their Jamaican roots, and they're kind of, you know, they're very proud of it. You know, it's nice to see.
So we are. So that's how we are. Very proud nation.
Have you ever reached out or had Sean Roden reach out to you? Because obviously he's a very proud Jamaican as well.
Yes, he has several times.
Oh, nice.
Several times. Yeah.
Good.
He called me before show day, and he called me after pre-judging.
Fantastic.
So we've spoken, and we also spoke the day after show. So we spoke. We have spoken.
Yeah.
He gave me his feedback and his critiques.
Yeah.
Hopefully I can get to work with him in the future, get some training videos done, get some training done. You know, just to communicate with him his experience in the sport, my experience in the sport, us both being Jamaican, something interesting for YouTube and social media. So I'm hoping to work towards that happening.
That's fun. That's fantastic. I love hearing that, because I know he's very supportive of the South African Sibu Katello. And Sibu said, like, he really reached out to him. Like, you know, he was ringing him like yourself on show day, and he was really sort of really wanting to support. He said he was almost like ringing him at funny times, and, you know, because he was really that interested and he really wanted to see that guy succeed. So I think it's nice to hear the Olympia champions and the best of the best paying it forward. It's something I think we need to really kind of, you know, talk about, and it's good to hear when that sort of thing, you know, it's really good. Like you said, you're inspiring, and bodybuilders below you or behind you, whatever your level in Jamaica, and, you know, like you said, they now feel it's possible because you're an inspiration, you know, because it's a smallish country, and it's you're paying it forward. I think that's great to hear.
And it's for me it's really welcoming when someone like Sean can actually reach out to me. Sean has been in dialogue with me from when I turned pro. So as far back as 2018, he's been in communication with me. Yeah. Same thing goes for Andre Ferguson, Lucky Libra.
Okay.
He's been in dialogue with me as well. He communicates with me from time to time, DMs me on Instagram, or he will WhatsApp me. So a few other guys do reach out to me and show me some love and support.
Good. So what was Sean Roden's feedback after Tampa for your physique?
He said I brought it. He agreed. He agreed, just like a lot of other persons, that I brought a good package, a complete physique. He also expressed where I could make some adjustments. He also said I could do a few poses a bit different to give me a little bit more of an advantage. Yeah. In terms of the poses, and I said, yeah, pretty much that. So I could change a few poses, and agree that I could increase or improve on the size of my hamstrings and so forth. Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously, like I said, you've been a big talking point since the weekend, you know. And do you feel motivated now and encouraged now, especially with the shows coming up for the rest of 2020?
I feel highly motivated.
Good.
I feel highly motivated. I feel really accomplished.
Yeah.
And I've been waiting for this to happen. And I feel like everything that I have been doing was for this day. Everything I did was a stepping stone, was small contributions to this day happening now. So I feel really accomplished for that. Yeah. I feel really satisfied that I could deliver not only for myself, but for my team, for my coach, for my trainer. Like, I feel like everything was not done in vain. I feel like everything was for a purpose, and that purpose was attained and accomplished. So I'm feeling really satisfied.
Good. I mean, it's a big sacrifice to move country, you know, when you've just turned pro, and there's kind of no clear outline of what's going to happen in your future. It's just you with a kind of goal, and okay, well, I'm going to put myself in a country where I'm going to be close to my coach, and I can move faster towards where I want to be, you know.
It was a major sacrifice. No family, no friends, no relatives, just me and my coach. So and I made a sacrifice. I made that major move.
Yeah.
And to this day, it has worked in my favor. No regrets. So I'm happy I did it. I'm happy she came up with that decision and that choice and gave me that option.
Yeah.
And I'm happy I accepted that option and came here.
Good. Do you feel
it has been working out very much for me.
Good. Do you feel happy and settled in Florida?
Yes, I am. I'm settled and I am truly happy. I have no complaints. It's been good. There's been trying times, like with anybody else and like with every other situation.
Yeah.
But I'm happy nonetheless.
So you're saying you've had other bodybuilders like Andre Ferguson, Sean Roden reaching out to you. Have you kind of connected with any other sort of athletes or any other bodybuilders, or are you kind of just doing your own thing in Florida?
No, I have connected with a lot of other athletes. I've connected with athletes in Canada. Quinton, I'm sure you're familiar with Quinton.
Yeah, Quinton area.
And Anton, him as well. Hamlet, you know Hamlet, right? In Canada. He's also in Canada.
Who?
Hamlet. The classic bodybuilder guy. Yeah, classic physique.
I don't know. I can't think of who you mean. Yeah.
He won the classic physique in Canada in Toronto last year.
Oh, okay.
I moved on to a lot of guys reach out to me and we communicate via Instagram. Cool. A lot of them. So
who's your favorite pro and who do you look up to right now?
I wouldn't say I have a favorite pro. I mean, there's something to take away from each pro. So I wouldn't say I have a favorite pro really. So I watch a lot of them and I take away something from each one of those pro.
Yeah.
Each of them have something different to offer, and I try to see what I could take from them and apply to myself. And to better myself, to learn how to move in the industry, to learn how to do the networking in the industry. I like Sean Roden, I like Phil Heath, I like Dexter Jackson. Jay Cutler has the business side of the industry very well. So I like how he moves in the industry. That is something that I would really like to master and learn, the business aspect of the industry.
That's good to hear, Dwayne. That's very good to hear. Very good to hear. Because like you say, you can't pin all your hopes on being a bodybuilder. You got to kind of have other things that being a bodybuilder will help and assist.
That's very true.
Yeah.
And I like a lot of the younger guys as well. I like C-Bomb. I like Regan Grimes. Those young guys at their age, they are very successful in the sport.
Yeah.
Very established, very accomplished. So I'm like really wanting to be at their level based on how young they are and how accomplished they are in the sport. So they're really a goal to attain.
Good. So what do you think is going to happen at this year's Mr. Olympia, say for the top 5? What's your opinion?
The top 5, who the top 5 guys would be?
Yeah, who do you think?
I'm not even sure who's going to be at the Olympias yet based on what I'm hearing. There's going to be
Let's have two sets of results
in the mix.
Yeah. So who do you think will be the top 3? Who do you think will be that first and final call out?
Based on who I'm aware of who's competing right now, right?
Yeah, go for it.
I think Brandon Curry can retain the title.
Okay.
It's going to be a battle between him and William Bonac for first and second.
Again.
And I'm saying, I'll throw Roller Winkler in the mix.
I was just thinking Rolly. I was literally just going to ask you if you thought Rolly could, because Rolly had a bit of an off year last year, but in 2018, he won in Australia, won Prague, he third at the Olympia. He looked absolutely sensational, the freakiest thing up there. And I think the break as well is going to have done him good. So you think that could be the top 3?
Yeah, that could be the top 3, based on who I'm aware of who is competing.
Yeah,
I'm hearing other names being mentioned, but nothing is confirmed, so I'm not sure. But based on what I know, those guys.
What about Flex Lewis? How do you think he'll do moving up to the Open?
It's going to be an interesting watch.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how it's going to match up against those guys, but it should be very interesting. I know he's going to do well,
Yeah.
But I'm not sure about how well he's going to be placed among those guys.
Right. So what do you think? Top 3, top 5, top 6, top 10?
I say definitely top 10.
Top
I say
10?
definitely top 10.
Oh, really? Top 10?
Yeah.
That's the first time I've heard that. Everyone kind of thinks top 6, top 3, and some people saying he could win it.
I don't think he could win it. I don't think he could win it against those guys.
Okay,
but,
so...
he's going to be top 6, top 10 for me.
Why, though? Is it because of his height, or...?
I think his height is a factor, and the other guys are taller and have more space for muscles. I think they will be able to display a lot more muscles versus him. Okay. He's going to be able to display muscles and good condition and symmetry and all that, but the other guys will be having a lot more muscle on their frames to display it. So I think they would outshine him in terms of that.
Okay then, Dwayne. Okay, here's a call out: Hadi Chupin, William Bonac, and Flex Lewis. Who wins? Because they're all the same height, pretty much. They're same weight, pretty much. I mean, there's not a huge difference.
I'm giving it to William Bonac.
Oh, well, he's most consistent, I suppose. Yeah, he's been open for what longest? Second of the Olympia.
William Bonac.
Wow. Okay.
I'm giving it to William Bonac.
Okay. Dwayne, what do you like to do in your spare time, mate? What do you like to do in your spare time?
In my spare time, I'm pretty cool, laid back, and chilled. I've recently gotten into shooting at the range. I enjoy shooting at the gun range. Mm-hmm. So for the past couple of months, that's what I've been spending most of my time doing when I'm not in the gym or working. So I want to get really good at that.
You want to get really good at shooting?
Yes, sir.
It's a very American thing. We don't do that in the UK. We don't do that in the UK. We just play croquet on the lawn. Okay then, Dwayne. Yeah, like shooting. Okay, Dwayne. I love seeing new faces, and I love it when they're coming through and they're under 30 guys like Rafael Brandeo. I mean, he's like in his mid to late 20s.
He's a nice guy. I like him. He's nice.
Quinton.
Nice. He's super nice.
Yeah, Quinton Area. There's another guy in his mid 20s.
Yes, sir.
Quinton Area. Sibu Sisu. I'm trying to think of the young guys really doing really well at the moment. Who else? But I think these are the ones that kind of...
All those guys are talented, yeah.
Regan Grimes?
Those guys are gifted, talented guys. Yeah.
Regan Grimes, I'm talking about the kind of under 30 guys, the guys that in 2-3 years are going to be filling up those, they're going to be making up the top 6 of the Olympia. They're the one going to be winning multiple pro shows. People like yourself, people who are coming up really, really fast, So it's really exciting to see... I mean, you're someone, Joe Seaman, another guy from Canada, another fantastic bodybuilder. But it's nice to see these new faces coming in and making an impact, because all this, like, the people used to say, pay your dues. And, and then when guys like you are coming in and, like, straight away, everyone's talking about, did you see Dwayne Walker? Did you see Dwayne Walker? And this condition, his shape, his detail. It really generates a lot of excitement, especially because I think with the pandemic and everything, and no shows and no gyms, I think people were really, really receptive to some good shows and some good new faces coming through, So it's exciting to see, mate. It's exciting.
I'm just really happy I could deliver the way I did.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to make my name. I wanted to make a name for myself.
You're doing that.
I really wanted to establish my presence in the industry, in the field. So I'm happy I got to deliver. I'm happy the show was able to be held. That's the first thing.
Yeah.
Because I was so worried that the show might be cancelled. So I'm happy the show could be held, and I'm happy I could get to turn up and present my package in the way I did.
Especially when you started prepping in December. Oh man, yeah.
Trust me.
Good. Well, I'm really glad you said you're going to do quite a few shows like Boston, Chicago, because I think it's important, if you've been kind of held back all year, like a lot of people have, and you now just you've relocated and you just want to kind of focus and go all in, it's really like good to see that you'll be doing multiple shows, and because I think you are. I think you've already made a bit of a name for yourself already this year, and you've only done one show. So imagine when you've done 3, 4, 5 shows, and especially if you get to the Olympia and you make, if you make top 10 at the Olympia, though, you've established yourself then as one of the best the very best in the world, So I'm glad to hear that you are doing more shows. I think it's really, really good for you, and it's good for the sport.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Okay. I'm definitely going to ensure that I stay on the radar. Yeah. I really want to stay on the radar. I want to keep the momentum going. So, and I really want to be consistent. So I've been working.
Good. Dwayne, I do believe you. I believe you. I think you're going to do great this year. So Dwayne Walker, third place at the Tampa Pro. Very excited to see what you're going to be bringing for the rest of the year. And we hope to see you on stage at Las Vegas at the Olympia, December.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Dwayne. Take care, mate. And I'll speak to you very, very soon.